Welcome back to The Watch. And Nathan, you ever heard of Robin Hood?
I have. A man in tights?
Man, well, sometimes he's wearing tights, but what about wearing a dress or a poncho? Actually, a poncho with a mask that has neon lights on it that would really, really help with the stealth and hiding.
Doesn't sound very medieval to me, though, Shad.
No, well, what we're talking about here is a modern reimagining of a classic tale. And instead of a regular Robin Hood, this is Robin with a Y.
Oh, so it's a girl.
It's a girl. It's a sassy girl. It's a girl of color in the hood. One of those is a.
Is that okay to say Robin Hood if they're
in the hood?
In the hood.
It
I
seems
feel
like there's some stereotypes that they're
yeah.
leaning into, and she's also a rapper.
Of course.
Yeah, and she lives in kind of like some rundown project area with a single mum.
This is not, completely separate to what Robin Hood would have been. Are there similar characters, though, to, his merry men or...
There's like a John Little who comes from a John Prince, and she lives on the corner of Sherwood and Forest, like streets. Yeah.
How's this been... what's the feedback?
Well, there is... some interesting claims that the director has been making to try and defend his show. Now, the director's name is Director X. Sounds serious.
Lame. Lame, honestly.
Well, yes. But hey, I'm wearing medieval clothes, so who am I to...
I'm forced to do this, so I have no choice.
Yes. So one of the things I want to talk about is the nature of review bombing, the concept of it, and also the fact that people use it as deflection, and also some other interesting defenses the director has been latching onto.
Right.
Now, with my description of Robin Hood, this new reimagining, what type of show does that give you the impression it's going to be?
Like a genre show, or how the show's going to be?
The quality, the general quality.
Awful, terrible.
Why do you
the
think?
The bare minimum. Because it's going to be full of modern day politics and trends, which will age by 2 weeks.
Yep.
You're going to have poor acting, and it's going to try to be progressive and diverse and do the complete opposite.
And be actually... lean into stereotypes, and be quite racist.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you haven't seen the show.
No.
But oddly enough, all of those things that you just said are confirmed by multiple people who have reviewed this show.
Right.
Now, how could you be so on point with your assumptions of this show?
Because it's not the first time this has happened,
Not the first time. No, it's not, Nathan. And in actual fact, a lot of these things that we see from the surface of this show, we have learnt that to be massive red flags and warning signs of these exact trends. Now, these red flags and warning signs usually prove to be very accurate. But on the occasion, we are surprised pleasantly and that they're not. Two big ones is House of the Dragon, Dungeons and Dragons. Both the marketing lead up to those the film and TV show, right, was really bad, and there were some big red flags. But when the show came out, people judged it on its merits. We judged it on its merits, and they were really good. I really enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. I loved House of the Dragon. Okay, and so the director is claiming that people who just saw this, that it has a race-changed and gender-swapped lead character, that they chose to hate on it just from seeing that. And that's racist to do, first and foremost. And then, as a result, didn't give the show any chance and review bombed it. And it's all these negative reviews that it's had. It has a lot of negative reviews, are all review bombing.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting that. So we know this is untrue, as proven by multiple examples where we see shows, like I mentioned, that have these red flags, but they prove to be really, really good. And there's a race swap character in House of the Dragon, and that race swap ends up enhancing the story significantly so. because there is an open secret in House of the Dragon that becomes even more prominent because of the race swap that everyone can see and no one's acknowledging, and it causes more tension, and it works really well. So I know a lot of the people that I hang out with, like the Friday Night Ice crew, we all kind of acknowledge that we know that it doesn't guarantee if you do a race swap that it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a warning sign that they're pushing ideology and the false idea of diversity, which is actually more exclusionary. Okay. In the mainstream media, right? That's their priority, to make a progressive show rather than a good show. And wouldn't you know it? It seems like Robin. Do you pronounce it? There's Robin, then Robin. I don't know. That this show, Robin Hood, does all of that. And even if you were to put aside the race swap and the gender swap and a lot of heavy-handed progressive thing, like the police are all really bad and usually of a more pale complexion and things, right? If you even put aside all that, the writing is just dog crap.
Yeah.
Like the outfits that they're wearing these ponchos with like these animal masks with like fluoro kind of things on it. And it's just, to me, that's just so stupid and dumb already. I'd be like, that'd be ripping me out of the film to enjoy it, right? And then there are other just like things that maybe it's just my taste, but I find the music grating and awful. Like I've heard rap that I can enjoy, but this is.
I haven't heard it, so I can't tell. But even just, I don't like most of the time when they set more traditional stories in the modern day.
Mm-hmm.
They did this with Ned Kelly, kind of. It was weird. I didn't watch it because it was just disengaging. But they changed him into a punk rock star, skinny, scrawny guy with like a mohawk and stuff. And I was just like, not appealing. I think the only one that was good was the Romeo and Juliet, where they changed the setting to modern day. But the thing is, the script was the exact same. The story was the exact same. The characters all the same. But when they get these things and then incorporate more of their political stuff, it's just the writing, like they can't be original. You can see the writing on the wall before they even say anything.
Yeah. Now, I'm not necessarily opposed to like a modern day reimagining of Robin Hood. It's a public domain tale. It's been interpreted many, many times. But I mean, you have such great stories in Robin Hood, and your intent, you'd hope, would be to make something better.
Yeah.
And you'd be hard pressed to make something better in the original setting, even just let alone just the fact that it's a modern reimagining, right? Doesn't make it superior in any way. Doesn't even make it interesting. In fact, it makes it less interesting because we're more familiar with the modern day than we are with the past, and people like the medieval aesthetic, swords, bows, and all that stuff, and castles and everything. And so it's basically making a great classic tale even more boring by what they're doing, and then by the heavy-handed politics and the very predictable kind of changes for the woke ideology. It's predictable as well. On an aside, a lot of like progressive woke, left-leaning people latch on to Robin Hood to misrepresent the message because they hear the rob from the rich and give to the poor. Robin Hood was like, you could look at it as more about anti-taxation. Like authoritarian governments and taxation is theft, and taking the money back that's rightly belongs to the people, it's not theft, and things like that. And the whole point of Robin Hood was to actually fight for the rightful ruler and not the usurper, the rightful ruler of government and things. Anyway, so people love to misunderstand Robin Hood, okay? And so he's been claiming that it's all been review bombing, and it's like, no. If this was good, and I know the F&T guys and everything, these are honest guys. They admit something that's good when it's good, and they would admit it. All right, and the fact that they're reviewing it and it's just atrocious, yeah, you can trust what they say. And they would only represent a small minority. There are times when our side of things, right, hate stuff, but the larger, I guess, consumers love it. All right, like we can only impact and affect so many things. If this was legitimately a good show, it's not going to matter how much we clown and dunk on it. It's going to get, the positive reviews. The fact that the negative reviews are so astronomically overwhelming is like, no, this show is dog crap. Okay? It looks like everyone is seeing that.
Yes, and usually when they talk about, review bombing, other people from the other side see that and go, okay, we're going to do the opposite
And
now.
do positive review by...
And then they don't complain about that. They say, that's good, that's great. And so
the whole review bombing narrative is bullcrap, and it's so disingenuous because, they only complain about the negative ones, but the positive ones, where people just give a positive review because it toes the party line, right? Yeah, those are all genuine, absolutely, right? I was like, come off it. And so this type of deflection is so blatantly desperate and false. And there's one other thing I want to comment on in regards to is Robin Hood, because I just came across one of the clips of the director trying to defend this little scene. There's a scene right here, and and this is Disparu reacting to it, and this was his response. And so what you see, the woman standing up, that's Robin Hood's mother, and she is talking to Robin Hood. Okay, that's what she says.
Heard you come in late last night. Filled up the condom jar if you need a re-up.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm so proud of you, daughter. You're a whore as well.
Filled up the condom jar if you need a re-up, and to any reasonable person, this concept is absurd, right? This is a mother encouraging her daughter to be a skanky whore, so much so that you need a jar of condoms that is being used
so much you need to refill it.
This is not a responsible mother at all, right? And this is not something that is any close to reality. And the director unironically came out trying to defend this, saying, this is a good message. This is telling to use protection and stuff like that. Like, you know what's a better message? How about not being a whore? Oh my gosh, right? What's your thoughts?
It's just shocking that this got through. Like, how many people had to go through this and say, this is normal, yeah, this is fine. Like, Hollywood must be in such a bubble. Because I think if anywhere else in the world, if you saw a condom jar in a living room, you would be like, that does not belong there.
What, you want me to just grab it?
Is this a freebie? Like Halloween? Like you hand it out?
Are you doing an invitation or something here? Anyone who comes in, it's like, we're good to go? Like, what is this?
So many mixed messaging here.
It's bonkers, right? And you're right about it reveals the bubble that, the people, because the director seems to honestly try and defend this, that this is a normal thing. It's like, hang on, is this a bit of a self-own here? Are you showing that this is how you think women should behave or women around you do behave? It's like, holy crap. You are nowhere near living in reality, mate. All right. And most guys, and also women as well, but like this whole massive body count, that's a huge turnoff for most guys and most girls, right? Like the whole idea of a wholesome relationship where both people involved don't just go around being constant whores, sleeping with anyone that, even approaches them, right? That's a lot of people just want that. Both men and women, by the way. Doesn't go, but I know there is more kind of negativity around women with huge body counts, okay? And if you understand biology, you can see why that has evolved the way it has. But I don't excuse guys that sleep around heaps either. And so the fact that they just try and put that in. And the other really, pernicious and vile thing about this, right, is culture and what's in our TV shows does, influence people's standards. Heavily, right? And so what is this trying to tell people to act and be like, basically?
Not good. Sleep around. Do whatever.
With so many people that you need a jar of condoms that has to be regularly refilled.
A family jar as well.
A family jar.
So,
oh my God.
if it's been a week, you're like, Mum, the jar's pretty empty, but I haven't.
This is
too much information.
I know, it's so wrong and twisted on so many levels. And the director can't see that. Unironically, he can't see that.
Can't even concede, you know what, that was a bit weird. Maybe I should have.
Yeah. And he even tries to defend it. And it's just like, what? And, oh my gosh, if you want to see just like a laugh fest of the ridiculousness of the show, just watch Disparu's reviews of it, right? I don't think I have the mental capacity to survive that. But I can enjoy it, secondhand through people who are reviewing it. And things like this are just like, you think this show is good?
It's just crazy because I think shows like this in the next 10, 15 years, people are going to go back. You know, if you're scrolling through whatever this is on in the service, go, oh, Robin Hood, I'm reimagining, I'm going to watch this. People are going, what happened in the 2020s?
But that's only the things that I think people are going to remember. I think they could do that with like Rings of Power, even though that's going to be mostly forgotten. Shows like this are going to become non-existent in a couple of years. Like, so forgettable. People will, like, except for those directly involved, won't even remember this show was made.
Yeah.
It's that bad, that forgettable. And the only reason it's even getting attention is because of people clowning on it for how bad it is, right? So maybe it'll be remembered as something, just what were we thinking?
Yeah.
But yeah, like so many of these awful shows will only be remembered for how awful they are. They're not going to have true lasting legacy like classic Lord of the Rings or classic Star Wars, something that is generational in its appeal.
Or because do you know what the moral of the story is for like this TV show? Or is it just dumping
Well,
on...
there was a video recently, I haven't watched it yet, but it's kind of asking that question, like, what are they actually fighting for? Like, it seems like because I've seen some of the opening things, right? The Robin Hood and her gang of like music hip hoppers are legitimately breaking and entering and dancing around in a dangerous construction site that's private property and off limits, right? And I mean, do you not see like, if you want an oppressive, like, you know, regime, usually you wouldn't want them reacting to legitimate criminal behavior by the protagonists. So just simple things like that seem to be right above the creator's head in this regard. So yeah, Robin Hood, just, it has been, not, the show is not entertaining, but it's been entertaining to watch the discussion around it.
Yes, it's always fun to watch fire, I guess.
Yeah.
Watch fire burn.
Yep. So let us know if you've seen Robin Hood. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts were. And as always, stay on watch.